You ever have one of those moments where you're sure the universe is just messing with you? Because the day I got slapped with a $50,000 fine for saving my own basement from flooding, yeah, that was the day I stopped believing in coincidences. My big crime, building a simple little concrete dam that actually worked for once in this HOA-ruled neighborhood. And right as I'm fighting this insane penalty, a mysterious red envelope appears under my door. No sender, just a brass key stamped with Unit 47. The timing was way too perfect to ignore, almost like a warning or maybe a test. Suddenly I realized I wasn't just up against an out-of-control HOA anymore. Something darker was lurking right under the surface. And the person I trusted most, yeah, turns out he might be my biggest enemy. 8 springs. 8 years of watching the little creek behind our houses turn into a raging river, every March and April flooding 3 basements like clockwork. You know, that sour, musty smell of standing water that just lingers like defeat. That was our reality for nearly a decade. The sound of sump pumps running 24/7 like a heartbeat you can't escape. Just a constant reminder that we were losing a battle nobody wanted to help us fight. And the HOA, not a chance. It was always me, David Walsh, next door, and Clara Thompson down the block taking the hits. Thousands in water damage every year, destroyed furniture, floating in mud. You either laugh or cry when you're standing knee-deep in your own flooded basement at 3 a.m., and trust me, we did plenty of both. It's me, we. But here's the part that still blows my mind. HOAs are supposed to handle community problems, right? 5 years of emails. 5. Every one of them the same. The flooding issue at 1247, 1249, and 1251 Maple Creek Court requires a solution. The cheapest drainage fix, $45,000. And every time the board said, sorry, exceeds the association budget, homeowners should pursue individual solutions. I mean, the irony would have been funny if we weren't drowning in it. So fine. I built my individual solution, and honestly, it was kind of a work of art, if I say so myself. 18 months of research, 2 months to pour and set, cost me less than $3,000. Just a plain concrete diversion dam, 4 feet high, redirected most of the water into an old pond upstream. First spring after it was done, not a drop in anybody's basement. David brought over a bottle of the good whiskey, and we sat on the porch, clinking glasses, watching the creek slide by like it always belonged there. You just saved us thousands, he said. For 3 years after that, dry basements, no more insurance nightmares, no more mildew that never really goes away. I was proud. Electrical work had been my life 35 years before retirement, but this felt like I'd finally beaten the problem the pros wouldn't touch. David would wave at me every morning with that grateful look, and I'd think, this is what community's supposed to be about. Then 2 weeks before everything blew up, he comes over, sweat on his brow, worried look on his face. Josh, did you check with your insurance company about that dam, he asks. Would hate for them to drop your coverage over a technicality. I told him I was good permits, filed everything up to code. Thought it was just David being thoughtful, the kind of neighbor who'd take out your trash if you forgot. But looking back, that was the first red flag. Red envelope showed up on a Tuesday. Crimson slipped under my door, no return address, nothing inside but a brass key stamped Unit 47, no note, just the key, and that itch at the back of my mind saying something big was coming. 2 days later, the official envelope arrives. The one I dreaded but never expected. Violation 15.7b, unauthorized modification of drainage system affecting community infrastructure. Fine, a $50,000 with $500 daily until resolved. $50,000. For fixing a problem they ignored for 8 years. At first I actually laughed. Maybe it was a typo. But nope, there it was, black and white. Citations, bylaws, the whole 9 yards. I called my lawyer Peterson right away. He was just as stunned as me. Josh, this is highway robbery with paperwork. We filed an appeal that afternoon, every bit of documentation in hand. Within 3 days, denied. Form letter, tough luck. That night, David stops by looking genuinely worried. Have you thought about what you'll do? There was something in his voice, nervous maybe. Let's research legal options together. I've benefited from your dam too. Seemed reasonable. I mean, after 15 years of friendship, why wouldn't I trust him? Then he asks, seen anyone taking pictures of your dam lately? Think someone's building a case against you. Thought he was just watching out for me, but man, turns out he was the one feeding them all the info. The next days were a blur, me piecing together clues, the red envelope, and the fine David's new obsession with my insurance, even his good neighbor gestures. Then comes the emergency HOA meeting, packed everyone buzzing about my fine. Rachel Adams at the head CEO vibes, talking like she's running a Fortune 500, not a neighborhood board. She lays out graphs and risk assessments about unauthorized water control, liability insurance, voiding community risk. She's not just some busybody. She's got serious insurance chops. Then I notice her pin GRS engraved on the clip. Graves Restoration Services. The same company always first on the scene after a storm. Huh. Tom Reynolds, another board member, is acting squirrely, glued to his phone, whispering, glancing my way and then away. When my turn comes, I hold up the red envelope, brass key glinting. Anyone know what this is? Rachel's face drains of color, pure panic. She tries to cover, calling it a marketing gimmick. Tom jumps in, steers the conversation back to community violations. Something is definitely off, but I'm not getting answers tonight. After the meeting, David walks me out. Did you see Rachel's face when you mentioned Unit 47, he asks, looking over his shoulder. Tom's been weird lately, too. Lots of secret meetings. Something big is going on. I wanted to believe he was helping. Now I know better. That night, black sedan follows me home. David's safety light casts weird shadows across my yard. That key in my pocket suddenly feels more like a warning than a mystery. Next morning, David shows up early with diner coffee, all helpful again. We start checking every storage facility in town, nothing. Then over breakfast, we dig into the records of the house that flooded worse Patterson's place. Turns out he sold at a huge loss and died mysteriously 2 months later. Patterson was a former lifeguard guy, doesn't just drown by accident. Maya, an old friend from my electrician days, starts looking into it. Josh Patterson didn't move away. He drowned at his apartment complex. The timing's off. Feels like a cover-up. We dig deeper. Tom's acting nervous, meeting a forensic accountant, handing off envelopes. We follow, watching him meet a suit from Forensic Accounting Services. David's still helping, suggest maybe Unit 47 is a safe deposit box. It clicks First National Bank. Tomorrow we check. At the bank, Mrs. Clark confirms Unit 47 is a safe deposit box. I have emergency access. Just as we're filling out paperwork, Tom walks in, looking guilty as sin. I need to come clean, he says. He's been investigating Rachel's financial irregularities. He lays out evidence, every restoration contract, nearly $800,000 funneled to Graves Restoration after emergency violations. Rachel's company, her pin, her scheme. Company, her Rachel. In the vault, I open box 47. On top, a note. Warning, do not allow David Walsh access to these contents at any cost. My stomach drops out. The note details Rachel's operation, and David, my neighbor, has been her informant for years. I look up and David's standing right there, white as a ghost. He confesses. He's been reporting on everyone's finances, helping Rachel pick targets. He says it was blackmail over gambling debts, but the note says he's been paid. Betrayal stings, but evidence is what matters now. Back home, Maya calls Rachel's filed an emergency report to remove my dam, timing it with an incoming storm. Her crews are staged to swoop in after the next flood-forced sales insurance claims the whole thing orchestrated. With the help of Tom's evidence, Maya's surveillance, and David, now desperate for redemption, we set a trap. The next morning, my dam is demolished. Hours later, the storm hits and the creek floods again. Clara's and David's old basements fill with water. Graves restoration trucks arrive before emergency services, and Maya's cameras catch it all. Channel 7 News shows up as planned. Live on air. I lay out Rachel's whole scheme. Tom and David provide the evidence. Rachel tries to deny it, but can't talk her way out of video paperwork and witnesses. The prosecutor watching live arrives and has her arrested on the spot. Her crews try to flee, but their trucks get stuck in the same mud they created. Sometimes justice really does cling like mud. The investigation explodes. 23 families, hundreds of thousands in fraud, even bribed inspectors. Patterson's red envelope was a dead man's warning set up by his estate attorney to save whoever came next me. Rachel goes down for conspiracy, fraud, even accessory to manslaughter in Patterson's death. David testifies, but his life's ruined. He gets witness protection, leaves a letter saying he's sorry but knows it's not enough. The community rebuilds with Graves's assets, funding a new dam and a fund for future victims. Standing by the new Stronger Dam with Maya, watching autumn leaves drift by, I realize sometimes the truth pushes through every barrier. Patterson's warning saved me, and justice swept away the rot. Maybe that's how it should be. When good people refuse to stay silent, when the dead leave warnings, and when neighbors finally stand together, the flood doesn't destroy the community. It washes away the corruption, leaves everything stronger than before. So let me ask you, what would you do if a dead man warned you about your closest friend? Drop a comment below, because sometimes justice flows like water and sometimes it clings like mud. And if you've ever faced a crooked HOA or a neighbor from hell, I want to hear your story. Like, share and stick around. This channel's just getting started.